Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Rimworld and to a new series. A new colony is about to start, and I've had some problems with this. I've botched a couple of recordings. This is actually the third time I'm trying to start up and get this this series started. I'm really hoping to get this uploaded as soon as I get this episode done. But just to give you a quick introduction on what's going to change in this one, first of all, we have a few more mods. I won't say too much, but there's this one. It's called Expanded Prosthetics and Organ Engineering. Allows you to make like it says, tons of prostheses and artificial organs. Then I have some more floors, which allows some more design and things, different mats and different floor patterns, mostly decorative patterns, and finally a really nifty tool called Allow tool, which allows you to just select and unforbid all items in an area with one click instead of having to select every single type. I've also downloaded this called Redist Heat, but that mod, which is about redistributing heat and building ducts and stuff like that in to spread heat or cool down air around your base, doesn't really work completely yet, so I'm going to leave that out for now. But anyway, on to the new colony, and today we have a new custom colony called Chess Pawns. A short introduction here. It says a renegade game store worker gets exiled into space for his ideals. And let's have a look at this. So after a store worker at a game store suggested that the only miniature game worth selling is chess, the board of directors sentenced him and two random customers judged to be co-conspirators, and a pig suspected to have Spider-Man-like powers, to death by galaxy trucking. After being forced to construct a spaceship made out of sewer components, the Defiant 3 plus pig were launched into space. The last transmission to come from the ship before a large meteor took out the comlink was, "I'll build my own game store with chess and horseshoe throwing." So this is basically the theme here is there's an exiled game store worker and some customers who have been thrown out in space, and we start with mostly similar things, but there are a few changes. We have, for example, 8 chess tables that we start with. I'm going to build up a little gaming colony. Also, our starting characters have a 60% chance of starting with the trait Too Smart. I felt that this was a characteristic that captures the sort of element of board gamers quite well. You could say there's a number of other traits. You could say that sort of could stereotypically describe board gamers and gamers in general, but I didn't want to start with anything too negative or too overly stereotyping. I put Too Smart, and we'll see what else we'll get. Anyway, let's get started with that. And we are playing now, this time with Cassandra Classic, so that means that compared to our last Let's Play, the events will come in much closer succession. We'll have many more events, and hopefully that'll make the series a lot more fun to watch. I hope I'm also ready for this, because this means I'll have to react to all the events a lot faster. We'll keep the difficulty mode otherwise on the same one, so it's a rough planet, threats can be quite dangerous, and there are no bonuses to colonist mood or crop yields. Right, let's move on with it. So, what should we call this seed? Seductive? Ooh, I don't know. I think we will call this CD Max Seed Face. I think that's the only smart thing we could call this seed. I'm sure an internet poll would agree with me. We would generate the word CD Max Seed Face, and here we are. It looks nice. It's a very nice site. So, where are we at? Growing period, never. I don't think I'm ready to play on that difficult of upsetting, but we have a temperate forest. We have year-round growing period. Ah, interesting. It never gets to be winter. I'm not sure about that. I kind of like the temperature shifting a little bit. We'll take a look at this. This one then. Oh, small hills, temperate forest. Not a very cold winter, and pretty warm summer. 6 to spring, 6 to fall growing period. Marble, limestone, and granite. I like this. It's not a hard start, but I think that you'll see once you start following this playthrough that at this point yet I do not need a particularly hard starting biome to manage to mess things up for myself. So we'll select this site and see. what we get. Alright, this phase I'm going to do off camera because it might take a while. I'm going to try to get a balanced, nice set of starting characters, but I'll get you back once I have done this part, and I will present our opening trio to you. I'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. We have our people now, and they're all related actually. We'll start off with Sammy, who in this story will play the person who worked at the game store and was kicked out. So Sammy was an Rimworld urchin. The Rimworld's ancient and deep industrial cityscapes bursting with humanity and poison. Sammy grew up in the dark, unwanted reaches of such a place. He had to fight for every scrap of food. And in his adulthood he became a Navy scientist. Interstellar warfare is won by technology, so Imperial navies are always on the peak of modern research. Even better, they have first access to transcendent artifacts because they find them in space. Sammy worked in a Navy lab. Now, really, I mean, it says Navy lab. What he really worked with, he was working on a sort of X-wing miniature lab, researching new miniatures for X-wing, and that's where he sort of suddenly decided that chess is the only real miniature game that exists. So it says Navy scientist. It's talking about sort of miniature X-wing and Star Wars Navy type thing. Anyway, the Rimworld urchin fits right in, doesn't it, to the game store way of life. Anyway, then we have Celle's aunt. No, let's go with Celle's mom, Ileana Rusty Skelton. So Rusty was also from the Rimworld, so this makes sense. It kind of fits the stories. And it ended up as a herbalist. Rusty lived in the forest near a village. Though many of the villagers feared her, sick villagers would come to her to purchase salves and poultices made from the herbs she grew in her garden. She was happy to help them for a price. Now, you might wonder about something. It says here that Rusty is 33 and her son, Sammy, is 29. But then, take a look at this. There's no, which talks here, her chronological age is 74 years. This means that she has spent a certain amount of time in crypto sleep, meaning that she gave birth to Sammy 29 years ago, then spent a certain amount of time in crypto sleep, and is actually now only 4 biological years older than her son. We can imagine that there has not been very much interaction then, sort of between the two, I suppose, a couple of years maybe. But that's an interesting little observation. Then we have Anna, who's 20, and she is Rusty's sister, and therefore Sammy's aunt. She's biologically younger than her nephew, but as you can see, she's also existed for 61 years. It's just that she's only lived 20 of those 61 years outside of crypto sleep. This is how weird things get in the future. We have a coma child. A childhood accident put Anna into a coma. She didn't wake up until she was in her late teens. Her body never recovered from the years of inactivity, but people tend to take pity on her when they hear her story. And now she's a colony settler. A settler on a new colony world. Such a life requires a jack of all trades and basic hands-on tasks. So, other things they have, they're not incapable of anything, which is sort of a nice thing to start out with, make sure everyone can help out with everything. Sammy is ugly. He's a masochist as well, and too smart. Anna is a prostophile, so she dreams of going bionic. So when we can start making bionic enhancements, Anna is the one who wants to get them. She's also too smart. Rusty is industrious, has an easy time staying on task and focused to get things done much faster. That's going to be really good to have. But anyway, those are our 3 starting colonists, and I'm going to start the game shortly, and I'll get you back once the game is started. It takes a little while to load the world. We'll be right back. And we're back with a little bit of an introductory dialogue. Those directors should not have underestimated your skill in construction. Sorry about that. Those directors should not have underestimated your skill in constructing functioning spacecraft out of sewer parts. You had almost reached a safe haven when space commandos, dressed as reindeer with clown noses, boarded your ship and started laying explosives left and right. The next thing you knew, your ship was in pieces. Grabbing your beloved chessboards and picking up your cosplay longsword, you throw yourself into the escape pods and hope for the best. Crashing down towards a Rimworld, you swear to build up your strength, return to Earth, and make those directors pay. In the meantime, you will run the meanest, best local game store our Rimworld has ever seen. Well, we'll see about that, won't we? Here we are. And we have with us a spider pig named Void. Let's immediately assign him to be trained. We'll do those things first. We'll worry about everything else later on. Alright. Let's take a look. Who's best at what? We have a shooting of 5, shooting of 6, and... Okay, so Anna, you get the longsword. Sami, you get the pistol. And Rusty, you get the survival rifle. Now, let me show you how this nice unforbid tool works. It's quite nifty. See how you can just unforbid everything in sight with a few easy clicks of the mouse. But first things first, and then second things, and then fourth things, and so on. We are going to need to find some place to start the game. Oh, I'm immediately drawn to this little nook here to sort of house our immediate areas. There's a huge amount of rich soil right there. If we have our farm right there, some kind of outside area here, and we build our houses in here, close of this little area, I'm immediately drawn to that. And let's just see if there's something better. Is there a geothermal vent close by that we can use for power later on? Not really. We could have sort of like electricity and things right here, or our first little houses here, and delve into the mountain as we progress. I like that. I like that thought a lot. Another thing I like is just having this against our back and then building up from there. Here's another nice area that we could use the rich soil to build off of. One thing I really like about this here is like it's so central, meaning that from wherever enemies will approach us from, they will have to traverse quite a long distance before they actually reach our base. And that is quite important to me. More rich soil up there, and we're supposed to see some chess boards scattered around the oh, here's the geothermal vent as well, so could also just and a lot of rich soil here, so could also build here somewhat, but I just cannot get past how nice I feel this little bit here is, and how I feel like I can do something with that. We have a little lake here on the side. Maybe we can. Anyway, yeah, the mud is a little bit of an issue because we're gonna have trouble cutting off this area. The walk speed is slower, so maybe we can funnel enemies in through the mud, and it'll actually serve. We'll have this as sort of like the area that the enemy has to wade through, and we can be firing at them from across the pond. Yeah, okay. I can definitely get behind that. We have to see, the mud reaches all the way up here, so if the wall comes down like that, and we have an opening here. Alright, let's start off with that as our base of operations, and start off by putting a little stockpile area right there. Okay, so that's where we're gonna start piling things to. We'll start with that right away. We will set up there. We need to build rooms. Yes, I know. I'm just gonna start off with this kind of thing. You can go to bed at 9. You can go to bed at 10. And you can go to bed at 11. Then we work. Like, oh, that didn't quite work out well. I'll fix that in just a minute. That should be an anything slot right there. And then we'll put some joy here in the middle. We're also going to put on manual priorities. Firefighting, patient. We have an 8 and doctoring 2 and 3. Okay, so put you as a 4 because sometimes we need to treat the doctor as well, and that's a little bit of a problem to have just one doctor, but hopefully we'll get another one soon. You'll be our warden. You'll be our handler. Cook. Oh no. Oh dear. You'll actually be the cook. You can alternate. That you have some passion for it. Let's not do that kind of hunting yet. You'll be a constructor. You can help construct as well. You should not. Everyone can repair. Growing. Yes, grow. Can be a tertiary grower. You should not do anything like that. Anything of the sort. Oh no, we're horrible at mining. I wish I had sort of noticed that. I could have tried to get. We're not doing this yet. Not doing that yet. We have people who are. And let's do like that. All right, now let me see. We want to utilize this growth area and start to grow things as soon as possible. So let's see, we wanted to leave this rich soil, so we want to leave one tile unused down there. We'll start off from up here. Just put 1, 2, 3 and 4, just like this. And what we're going to do is we'll plant some rice. We will plant some strawberries. We will plant some heel root, and no one can do that yet, but they'll learn soon enough. And we will plant some corn. I'm going to plant some cotton later on, but let's just start with all that. And then let's start cutting off this area down here. We'll do like that, and like, yeah, let's cut that bit right off right there. We'll expand later as the need arises. And we can let's see, where does that go? We can put like there, and put some doors in here. And then next, I actually just want to go ahead and make rooms for people. I'll put one room here, one room there, one room there. These rooms are going to be very disproportionately divided to start up with. But oh well, what are you going to do? Let's do like... Probably building way too much right from the start, but nah, I don't care. Build me all these things, people. I demand it! Alright, let's see how things progress from here. Now, as far as food and things, there's some steel. Let's see what else we have here. Let's just let time go. Aha! There they are. There's 4 of the chessboards right there. They'll be carried in. We're gonna make a game area, and I need to plan about that. Of course, I meant to do some careful planning, but now I just put a bunch of rooms to be set up without caring too much about neither this nor that. But let's see how much we can get done here. Can put a bed in here. Oh, that needs to be actually... furniture. Put a bed here as well. And a bed here and a bed there. And some torches. Because we don't want people sleeping in the dark now, do we? Alright. See all this cool stuff we can get so quickly. Ah, dumping zone. Let's make a dumping zone. Right around here. Alright, so, didn't really get started with the beds yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there. How are people feeling right now? Everyone's family, so we're liking each other and we're all healthy and feel good and stuff. Alright, anyway. I think we are just gonna get the beds finished and then we're gonna wrap up this first episode. And we have quite a lot of room out in front. I'm gonna pretty much immediately start work on getting power set up. Let's take a look at how these beds turned out. We have a poor bed, we have a poor bed, we have a shoddy bed. Alright, later on I'm gonna make better beds, but for now this is fine. And you'll notice I'm making a little bit more beds than I need. That's because I want to have prisoner beds and things ready for whenever it's time to build those things. But let's see how this progresses now. Okay. Let's see how people do. There are now at least 3 beds already, so everyone will be able to get into a bed. Now, everyone will not be able to get into get to sleep because get out of the rain because there is now she's building roofs. Anna is a very fast worker. That's good to see. Now she's putting roof. Everyone almost is getting a roof on their heads. Is that is the water extinguished the seems like it extinguished the what do you call it? Torch. So need to get that built up again. Is everything done? Okay, people are saying they're done hauling things, so maybe I can try to find more things to haul, more things to do for people. Because they finished the planting things already, which was really quite fast of them. I'm quite impressed. Ah, here we go. Unforbid that stuff. And if I can find the remaining chessboards, that'd be also a fun thing to get in already. Then we can start setting up the game area, but that will be in the next episode, because now I think we are done with this first episode. If I can just find our colony. Here we go. Let's see, so where's whoever it is who's supposed to be doing the work? Oh yeah, they went off to haul things. Anna, what are you doing? Are we out of wood? Well then cut down some more trees and good grief, people. I mean, it's not that hard, is it? If you don't have wood to build something, then chop down wood, build something. Alright, well, except you all wanted to go to bed. Well, in that case, let's come back in the next episode for more wood chopping and building of things. We have 4 chessboards in the house. Next, we are in the next episode. We are going to set up our first little game area, because this is after all going to be a gaming little area, and we're gonna then, I think, start working on our electricity and start setting up lights and everything, making our place a little cozy and having a generally nice time of it. But anyway, thank you for joining me and watching the first episode. I'm sorry about well, for those of you who were aware of the fact that this series got a little bit delayed, sorry about that. And I'm glad that we finally were able to get started with Sami, Rusty and Anna in our gaming world. And I wonder who's going to join us in the coming days and weeks. And I hope that we'll be able to stay alive for the coming days and weeks. Here we have the rest of the chessboards. I'm just going to unforbid them right now before we call it a close for this episode. Anyway, thank you again for joining me. I hope you join me for the next episode. And I hope you're as excited as I am, to see how this place develops. This place, which does not yet have a name, although I have been given some suggestions. Next episode, we will also name the colony, I'm pretty sure. But up until then, and as always, I hope you take care.